to the Art of Adventure. This is 5 Minute Friday, all about how to get free travel and adventures. One of the things that I was really looking forward to when I started growing my Instagram and started with this podcast was, oh my gosh, maybe someone is going to give me free trips and free gear and all this stuff. And that sounded really amazing. And a lot of people that I talked to also think that sounds super cool to get free access to events and free luxury hotel stays and all kinds of random things. And I'm here to tell you it's totally possible, but it takes a little bit of thought and it takes a little bit of effort on your part. So how to get a free luxury hotel stay or how to get a free adventure trip. We've stayed in castles, we've taken hot air balloon trips, we've stayed in luxury resorts, we've gotten free meals, all kinds of really fun things. And first of all, you have to decide what you want. You probably won't get it until you decide what it is you want. So if you decide you want a free hotel stay, then you might have to ask for it, because sometimes people will come to you. Sometimes they'll find you, they'll say, we really like your YouTube, your Instagram, your podcast, your blog, whatever, and they will offer you a partnership. But a lot of times you're going to want to curate it for yourself. You're going to want to go after it and seek out the opportunities that you really want. So let's take a hotel, for example. You want to stay in some boutique hotel in exchange for featuring them on your blog or Instagram, in exchange for some media, for some publicity. So the first thing you have to do is think about it like a win-win situation and make it as easy as possible for them to say yes. So you want to give them some publicity, some exposure, some media, and ultimately you want that to be able to lead to them getting some customers, which is what advertising and marketing is supposed to do. When you can make it easy for them to say yes, so here's some things to consider: having it be low travel season, maybe on a weekday instead of a weekend, sometime when you know that they have extra room capacity. It's going to be a lot easier for them to put you in a room, a lot lower cost, where they won't be giving up very much potential revenue to put you in room if they have extra capacity. Now, there is still some cost to them going and giving you a room. So you want to make it more valuable to them to be featured on your Instagram than it costs them. So one thing that I always like to do is to make sure that I give them all the photos that I take. If I'm taking photos of the room and the hotel restaurant and the grounds, I give them all those photos so that they have that for their own social media to use later. So already, instead of paying a professional photographer, they get a bunch of photos from me. And then if I agree to some terms, like if I say, okay, I'm going to do 5 posts for you while we're at your hotel, maybe I'll give them 6 and I'll do a couple live broadcasts and I'll post on some other channels and maybe I'll mention them here on the podcast. And so they're getting more exposure than you agree to, which of course is great for them. And I recommend having some base of followers, whether that's 1,000 Instagram followers or 100 podcast subscribers or 100 YouTube subscribers. It can be quite a small audience as long as it's matched up well with the hotel. So we stay in hotels that offer adventure trips or are in adventurous locations because you, the listener of The Art of Adventure, is more likely to resonate with that type of hotel. So we're not staying in all-inclusive resorts very often. I like to bring in a couple examples of past successes, where people have sent me emails. Hey, that was cool that you featured XYZ castle or XYZ trip that you took. I'm going to go there, or I went there when I was in Europe last summer and it was awesome and I wouldn't have found out if it wasn't for you. And so you have this proof of here's you featuring something on your social media to them actually getting a customer. So you can prove that it's a worthwhile endeavor. So when you're getting around to going to pitch to hotels, the ones you want to stay at, not every one of them is going to say yes. So you have to kind of plan for that, for some of them to say they're not interested or there's no capacity or we just don't do that. So I don't know, you could estimate 10%, 20% of them will say yes. So how many emails do you think you would need to send to hotels to get a 2-night stay in one hotel. You'd probably need to send 5 or 10 or 20. Say you wanted to have your entire week paid for, you might have to send 30 emails. And you can create templates and then personalize them as you go. And it might only take you 15 minutes to send those 30 emails. And of course, when you're actually doing these activities or when you're actually staying in the hotel, you want to be able to enjoy the experience and have a good story to tell about it on your social media later. So you don't want to spend all your time working and creating the content. So make sure you know exactly what content you're going to want. You're going to want photos of the room. If it's a hotel, you're going to want photos of the dining experience and maybe some video content. So plan that all out. I like to make sure I photograph the room in the first 10 minutes before it gets all messy. And then I don't have to worry about it later in the stay. So plan out the shots and the media that you want to generate and know when you're going to do that, and then set aside the rest of the time to enjoying the experience, enjoying the food, enjoying the adventure, whichever trip you've gotten for free. I also like to ask the marketing manager or the hotel manager if there's a particular angle that they'd like me to take, particular thing I'd like to feature. So for example, Hotel Otočec in Slovenia, we got to stay in a castle, which is amazing. They really wanted me to focus on the element of the food because they get all of their food from this, small surrounding countryside around the castle. And it's super fresh and delicious, really easy thing to talk about. And that's something they're really proud of. So through that conversation, through building that relationship with the hotel owner and manager, I was able to get the angle that they wanted. And finally, I think the last and most important piece here is feeling like you deserve it. If you don't think you're going to deserve to get a free trip or a free hotel stay, then you probably won't ask for it and it probably won't happen. So know that you're giving them valuable publicity. You're connecting them and sharing their venue with your audience, and they're giving you something. They're giving you a free stay or a free meal or a free trip or something like that. So it's a win-win situation. And if you're going to be delivering something valuable, then it's totally worth it for them to do that for you. So you have to deserve it, and then you have to ask for it. You have to send the email, and sometimes you have to follow up, and sometimes you have to send multiple emails. And it's totally possible, but it generally won't just magically happen. You'll have to put in some thought, and you'll have to put in some effort, and then it can be really, really amazing. You can get a last-minute hot air balloon trip like we did in Southern California. You can get to go glamping, which is something I've always wanted to do. You can sleep in a castle. There's all kinds of amazing things that open up once you start exploring potential matches. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you try this stuff out. Let me know if you use your Instagram or your YouTube or your podcast or whatever. If you start approaching some hotels, let me know how it goes. Share your templates with your friends. This is something that we can all work together and create really good outcomes for ourselves and for the people that we partner with. And if this is something that you're really into and you want to do more of, then I invite you to check out our trip to Morocco, our AdventureQuest trip to Morocco in October. It's for influencers and people that want to up their thought leadership and influence game. We'll be working on how you get special perks, how you get free trips, also working on our social media content in general, the stories that we tell, the photographs, how we find our authentic voice online, how we build a loyal following, all of these things. That is October 7th to 14th. It's going to be an amazing trip. A lot of cool adventures planned, cool locations, boutique hotels, of course. So would love for you to check that out. That's at AdventureQuestTravel.com. Thanks so much for listening. Now it's your turn to go out there and be adventurous.